Chapter 48, Bad Black Sheep.
Joe and the crew made it safely to Joe's cabin and called it a night. Joe awakens bright and early to the smell of sizzling bacon. He moves towards the kitchen, stopping to lovingly admire Cammy from afar before carefully approaching her from behind. He rubs her petite shoulders.
Are you trying to catch the worm this morning, pretty lady?
Cammy lowers the fire and turns to Joe.
No, Joe. I'm giving gratitude to the man who saved my life. I'm not a one-night girl. I swear to you, I've only been with a handful of men my entire life. When Betty invited me to go to the concert, I feared I might run into the creep who beat me years ago. When I found you, I knew I was safe. I swore I'd never set foot back in 7 Mile again. I'm so glad I did. I love you, Joseph Nathaniel.
Me too, Cammy. I'm glad I didn't wear my usual disguise last night. No one will ever hurt you again. That's a promise.
What now? I delivered the favor I promised. Is this the end? Will you kick me to the curb, Joe?
Joe gently places his hands on the sides of Cammy's head, tenderly massaging her tears into her soft cheeks as they fall from her insecure eyes.
You're welcome in my life for as long as I live.
Their sensitive moment is interrupted by loud giggles as Knife Warrior and Betty play grab-ass coming down the hall from Joe's spare bedroom.
Stop that, you nasty gladiator, man, before we have to go for round 6.
Woo-wee! Now that was one hell of a night, wasn't it? Them devils ain't no joke. I'm still pulling toothpicks out of my fanny.
He pulled toothpicks from his fanny while sticking timber in mine. Sorry if all that grunting, moaning, and groaning kept y'all up last night.
No, you're not. But those loud, fuck me, gladiator man, fuck me's sure interrupted my romantic lover. Sounded to me like you're going to need a new tattoo, hussy.
Knife Warrior scratches his butt while sniffing the aroma from the bacon.
Man, them victuals sure are making me hungry.
Joe notices a long, horribly stitched cut on Knife Warrior's right forearm.
That cut looks bad, buddy.
Betty sewed her up for me. Looks damn good, if you're asking me.
If you say so, friend.
I'm just as good as new. I'm as happy as old Blue lying on the porch chewing on a big old catfish head.
Betty appreciates Knife Warrior's compliment. However, he might think differently if he saw her stitch job. They take a seat to share breakfast together. Knife Warrior senses something is not right in Joe's spirit.
You want to talk about it, buddy?
Yeah, I guess we better. I remembered Austin saying something about a sacrificial lamb. My neighbor buddy, Chester Miller, keeps a field full of sheep. After bacon and eggs, we better visit the old farmer.
The girls clear the breakfast table while Joe and Knife Warrior tie their boots. Before exiting, Joe motions Cammy over and gives her a gentle kiss on top of her sweet head.
When I leave, look under your bedroom pillow.
Cammy squeezes Joe goodbye. Joe and Knife Warrior drive down Chester's Lane, passing the sheep grazing along the fence line.
I see some shaddies, Joe. You want me to get you one?
I'm a lot of things, but I'm not a thief. Let's see what my old buddy wants for one first.
Okay, Don't get your knickers in a knot. Damn, Joe.
Knife Warrior waits in the truck while Joe knocks on the door. Joe gets surprised by a large Rottweiler and a yapping Shih Tzu doing their duties through the thick glass of the old farm's front door. He jumps backwards. There's no reason to knock a second time. He climbs into the truck, throwing his hands on top of the steering wheel.
This is serious, Gary. We're running out of time.
What we supposed to do with this varmint anyways?
I'm not sure. I just remember Austin saying something about beating it until it's almost dead and nail it on a cross.
Well, that sounds about as worthless as gum on a boot heel to me. Where are we going to buy a cross that size? The closest church is over 100 miles away from here, Joe.
What do you mean by that?
Church ain't going to sell us one. The ass is so tight you can't drive a needle in it with a sledgehammer. How else we supposed to get us one that big?
All I know is we have one day to get the devil out my dad, mom, and brother, or they're gonna die.
You ever hear of whack-a-mole, Joe?
Can't say I have.
Well, we gonna whack us a lamb chop.
Joe has no idea what Knife Warrior means. He cruises the lane nice and slow, being careful not to scare the skittish animals. Knife Warrior's keen senses detect they're nearing a target. Within a split second, he exits the truck, splinters the planks of the wooden fence, grabs a lamb, and hurls it into the back of Joe's truck. Knife Warrior slams the camper shell door and is ready to roll faster than he can say, "There's your goat, Joe."
There's your goat, Joe.
I'll stop and pay the old farmer for his fence and sheep when we're finished.
What fence?
Never mind. It sounded like you and Betty had an enjoyable night. Man, that girl sure can howl. What's next for you two noisemakers?
We tried being quiet. Your hearing's so good you can hear a mouse piss on cotton ball, can't you? I ain't no Humpy Dumpy, Joe.
Yeah? What's that mean, buddy?
I ain't going humpy, then dumpy. I'm gonna marry that girl someday. Do you know she's a virgin?
She's the loudest virgin I've ever heard, my friend. If you humptied her, and please don't try to convince me you didn't, how's she a virgin?
Well, she likes playing her little game. When she's hot and juicy, she gets right up on her knees. Then she tells me knock on her buttocks 3 times. So I did. Then she tells me to come on in. Back door's unlocked. So I did it again. She's even got her tattoo proving she's a virgin.
Did you see this so-called tattoo?
Joe, you keep forgetting who you're talking to.
Oops. Sorry, buddy.
Her pants are so tight I could see her religion, and I can't see a thing. So she described it to me. It's a pretty little cherry with the word virgin right underneath it. She said, though her stream flows, it's a place where no one can go.
Joe glances into his rearview mirror. He catches the sheep staring through the camper's pass-through window directly at him.
Well, I'll be a son of a gunslinger.
When is it, Joe?
I know you're cross-eyed, but damn, I had no idea you're colorblind too. You grabbed a black sheep.
Well, shit far to the barn catches on. Pull that burr out of your ass, will ya? I don't want Austin's got picturing we're some kind of racist or something. Shadows. That's what I see, and you know it. That little trotter was the first shaddy I saw crossing my path. Damn it, Joe.
Knife Warrior elbows the window, accidentally shattering the glass.
Next time, nab your own gosh darn goat. Stupid stump jumper anyhow, Joe.
Oh, hell, Gary. I'm sure it won't matter anyway. Sorry, buddy. I'm a little nervous about the whole thing.
Back at the cabin, Cammy finishes the dishes and heads to look under her pillow. Somewhere in the night, Joe slipped away to write Cammy a poem.
You came through the dark like a thief in the night. You carved hope in my heart without using a knife. You stole my innocence I would have gave. Cammy, I love you. Let's do this the right way. Will you marry me? Joe.
Cammy hugs the poem tight to her chest. Tears drip onto the page.
Betty! I'm getting married!